Today is a real bittersweet day. It's a day that I knew would come. I actually thought that I would be doing this maybe 2 years ago, and I thought about it 2 years ago, but I've resisted, and that's the day that I need to make my number unlisted, change my number and make it unlisted. And I've heard other people talk about this, that once you get in the public eye, there's this weird thing. If that's what you're doing, that's the direction that you're going in your life, you'll wake up one day and you're like, fuck, I gotta get an unlisted number because there's just idiots out there. It's bittersweet in that, like, you've reached a plateau. It's like the first sign that, like, I'm so much in the public eye, I can't see that it would get less, it'll get more. Now, the harassment hasn't stopped in the last 3 or 4 years, and I just don't answer my phone. This is my dog. This is Billy the Hedgehog. And Billy the Hedgehog has a collar on right now. I'm just using it as a bark collar, and I wanted to talk about that. Sometimes you might have a dog that's real vocal, and you want to use the bark collar longer than is recommended. You have a couple choices. One, you could use a bark collar like he has, which is, I'm using the Delta Smart, but I'm only using it as a bark collar. As a remote, this thing's a joke. But it's a little bit smaller than the Garmin Bark Limiter 2. So it works good for a bark collar, that's it. Now, it has plastic contact points, so you can leave it on the dog longer. That's true. But let's just say, hypothetically, you have a dog, you need to use a bark collar longer, and all you have is metal contact points. You would do the same thing, and that you would refresh the collar. You start moving it around the dog periodically through the day so that you don't have problems. If you have a severe separation anxiety dog like Pharaoh was, which is one in, I don't know, every 15 years I see something that bad. One in every 8 years, something like that. But it's real severe. You have to have the bark collar on them a lot. One, get a bark collar that has plastic contact points, or at least use titanium contact points. That way you'll have less problem. And two, just keep moving it around the dog. If you take the dog out 3 times a day and you're refreshing the collar each time you take the dog out and moving it, you won't have problems. If it's too loose and it's moving it on its own, you will have problems because you'll be causing wear. Okay? Know that. Don't make it loose and don't make it too tight. Make sure it's snug so it can't move around on its own, and just start refreshing the collar, you know, throughout the day. Moving it into different positions. You won't have any problems. Most dogs aren't like this. Most dogs, you know, you can have a collar on when needed, or, you know, but some dogs are real vocal. Some dogs have separation anxiety. You might want to consider that. Just know you need to keep refreshing the collar. Okay? Don't put the collar on there and forget about it. Don't go to sleep, and if you went to sleep in the morning, or you went to sleep and then you wake up in the morning, you see you left the collar on the dog, make sure and check the dog's neck. Take the collar off, let the collar breathe. It's real important that you do this. Because if you don't do that and the dog gets, you know, an abscess or skin irritation, you can't use the collar. And consistency is what helps dogs. So if you're real consistent, give me that. If you're real consistent with the dog starts improving. Some dogs, it might take longer for the dog to improve. Man, when Tonka was young, are you kidding me? Very vocal dog, had a collar on a lot because he is so vocal. That's just how he is. But now he's older and it's not as much of a not as difficult. But you have to be consistent. Does this make sense? They might recommend only, you know, this collar, they don't have a recommendation like only 10 hours a day. But if it has metal contact points, they're going to say something like that. So you can keep moving the collar around, make sure it's not too tight, it's not too loose, and just keep refreshing it. Right, Billy?
Word. It was all made up, it was fabricated, and it's a disgrace.
Tonka just learned Frisbee. So did Billy the Hedgehog. They haven't been doing this very long. So this is just proof. You could teach an old dog anything. I didn't teach him this. We were doing other stuff. Now he can do it. Now he likes to do it. Now he's not as good as Billy the Hedgehog. Billy the Hedgehog is one of those dogs that, like, you throw it, he's always gonna get it. No. We'll make these, like, it's crazy. He's always gonna get it. Tonka, not so much, but Tonka really enjoys it, and I can tell he enjoys it by he has this, like, stupid gait. He's throwing it up in the air and trying to he just, look at him. He likes it. He's not good at catching it. He'll get better at catching it. Sometimes Tonka will just jump in the air just to hit it with his nose and stuff. He just likes doing it, so of course we're gonna do it. Right, Tonky? Heel. One of the things that you should know if you're gonna do this, it's not about throwing it real far. It's just about throwing it short, right? He will catch it. Tonka, hold. Here. Get it, Tonka. See? He just likes jumping up for it. See how he goes like that with it? Drop. Get it. See? It's Tonky. Oh, he's catching it better. It takes longer. No, drop it. It takes longer for some dogs to really get it. He's young. He's older than Billy. Here. See, did you see? Spray. Look at his hair.
And who did nothing wrong.
Look at the hairspray.
No corroboration of any kind. And went through 7 FBI investigations. Had nothing to do with any of this stuff. I mean, you had the last one. Take a look at the last one.
Look at his hair.
The things they said about him.
Another box of cap sheeting. I'm going to finish my porch here. This thing is heavy. It weighs 70 pounds. When I say that the Bigfoot Head weighs 120 pounds, that's heavy, and the kids are like, you can't pick up 120 pounds, you know? They don't think that that's heavy. This could hurt you for sure. This is 70 pounds. 120 pounds is how much a human weighs, kids. It says it right on this box, is like, this is a job for 2 people. It's 70 pounds. Okay, 120 pounds would be heavy for anyone. And just to make myself perfectly clear, if you're moving an artifact that weighs 120 pounds, you ask for help, because if you drop the artifact, you're gonna screw it up. So I'll be bringing the 70-pound roll up on this roof and then doing the part that has shingles. It's not too bad, but towards the gutter, I have a leak that goes in behind the gutter. So the problem being, if I don't do something about it, water will freeze behind the gutter and then push the gutter off the house. So besides it, you know, let's make it look more uniform. Then I'll probably put tin up here at some point, but right now I just want the water to stop. That's it. That's all. No more water on my porch, no more water in my house, no more water in my basement. Worry about the aesthetics later. You know, see what I'm saying? Like I'm missing siding, but I'm not missing that much. So I'm just gonna clean off the siding real good, bleach it real good. And you know, like up there, I'm just missing a piece of aluminum. I have to take coil stock and bend it. That's it. I mean, why would I redo the siding or take the siding off and paint the, you know, just like the old girlfriend said, she wasn't wise about a lot, but she was wise about this, and that's that, does it keep your house dry? Yes, it does. So that's what I'm gonna do. By the way, these pieces of foam you can put in the gutter, they work pretty good. They keep the leaves out. Your water can still go in. I'm not saying that I you know, still might have to come up here, but it's definitely not gonna get clogged up right away. That's for damn sure, you know. See this? See that lichen or moss or whatever that's growing there? It's fucking unbelievable. I gotta get up here and bleach this shit too. One thing that I've started doing is I no longer put chicken juice in the garbage bag. I totally stopped doing that. It smells, and Chen Yin explained to me, like, well, why would you? Now, why I would do it is because it's garbage. And so is chicken juice. Who needs that shit? It's fucking gross. I agree, it's gross, but it is a garbage bag. But in my defense, you know, Chen Yin is much more anal retentive than me. She will not, let's say you have a half a soda and you're at McDonald's and you don't want the soda anymore. I'll just throw it in the trash. No way. Chen Yin will not do that because she looks at it like it's a time bomb for somebody else. But I've done jobs like that. So yeah, it's a time bomb, but it just gives you something else to do, you know? So you're taking the trash out, there's a bunch of stuff spilling out of the bags, then you get the mop. No big deal. I'm not gonna put my chicken juice in the bag anymore, but I still think that Brett Kavanaugh is a good man. He is a good man. He's gonna save all the babies. And Donald Trump. They're gonna save all these unborn babies. They're unborn. You can't kill them, they're unborn. Oh, that's a good point. How can you kill somebody it's not born? How are you killing it? Oh, I forgot, yes. Life begins at conception? Is that what they say? I don't know. Seems weird that Christians are concerned about babies, but when it comes to war and stuff like that, they don't have any problem with it. A lot of people have died in the name of God, you know. Something else I notice is that there's not a lot of people of color at those rallies. You know, it does appear that they are picking people to talk to that look, I'm going to use the term typical, but there's everybody I know that is a Trump supporter looks normal, looks totally normal. Now some of them really aren't. They aren't, and by normal I mean several of them I talk to them and they have an undertone of racism to them, definitely. I was at a hard time in Brooklyn having the police pull me over and do stop and frisk because of the way that I look. You know, my clothes are spattered with paint, whatever. I'd be on a bike. I had a pet service back then, and you know, I'd have to do everything on a bike. If somebody didn't show up, it was me doing it. So I was on my bike a lot. How many times did I get pulled over? My God. You know, it got ridiculous. And I went into Greenpoint, the police station. I said, you know, I'm a business owner. I'm on a bike. I keep getting pulled over. You know, what's up with that? And they said, well, I said, it looks like they're profiling me. And they said, absolutely. You're on a bike. A lot of junkies ride bikes, and you're not overweight. You know, so I put up with that for years until they came out and said, we're not doing stop and frisk anymore. And I've really, like, I have, like, police that I'm friendly with in my neighborhood now. And I don't hold a grudge because, one, they were doing what they were told, okay? They were doing what they were told. This wasn't their idea. Hey, let's just start stop and frisking people. That was Rudy Giuliani's idea. I'm just watching Trump on TV, and he's advocating this again. Yeah, they should do this in a town like Chicago. Do you have any idea You, the person that this has never happened to, that it's like an invasion of your privacy. They start going through your pockets. They're looking for weed. That's what they were always looking for. And you say, well, you know, I wouldn't, you know, it's a cop, no big deal. If it happens to you more than 4 or 5 times, you're going to be, what the fuck is this? And we have Trump, you know, advocating a police state, going back to this, talking about how Rudy Giuliani implemented this in New York and how effective it was. It also made it so that everybody in New York City didn't like the cops. You start getting a bad taste in your mouth after the first or second time it's happened, okay? So don't sit here if you live in a rural community like I do and act like high and mighty, like, oh, I would never have a bad taste in my mouth about the police. They're there to help. Not when they're doing something like that. That's an invasion of my fucking rights. I have a right to privacy, and we have a president that's just saying, no, let's take everything back to how it was. Are you fucking kidding me? That's what he's telling the police. Some of these politicians are just so old. What are you doing? Retire. Retire. Like when ChuckGrassley, did any of you all hear him saying resistance? Do you hear him say that? He goes, he's talking about that and he's going, the resistance. Where does he fucking think he is? It's World War II and he's in France? He keeps saying that, resistance. It's resistance. Not with Chuck. What is the matter with him? Who is voting for the 85-year-old guy? I don't care if I was 85. I'm not voting for an 85-year-old. Are you kidding me? Hatch. That's another one. You know, go retire. Go do something, you know? Go work for the resistance. Chuck will get you a job. The resistance. What the fuck is the matter with him?
A lot of Democrats are going to be voting Republican on November 6th.
Yeah, sure they are. What kind of idiot lets their dog ride in the back of a pickup truck? That is just the stupidest shit I've ever seen. You know, I mean, common sense would say if you have to stop short, your dog is gonna get real screwed up. That is just stupid. You could put a crate in the flatbed of the truck. Do that. No, you can't do that. That's cruel. Yeah, I understand. Jesus Christ. Poor old dog. Just got off the phone with Big Chuck McBride. He's a nice guy. Nobody should be calling a dog trainer, okay? You should contact the dog trainer through email anyway. And I want to be perfectly clear. Don't be contacting me to give you referrals because I'm not going to give out referrals. I have in the past, but that's ridiculous. You want me to give you a referral? There's no one like me, okay? I can think of somebody that's sort of close, but there's nobody like me. Easy. That was nothing. It was cheap, too. It's nothing. Go harass someone else, okay? Because my number isn't available to anyone anymore. Good luck. I have to get some bird seed. This stuff, the little finches like it. And I want to get striped sunflower seeds. They have the black ones, but they didn't have striped sunflower seeds. That's what the chipmunks like. So I did get the black ones. If they eat the black ones, that's cool. But I may have to order more. I like the chipmunks, man. And the blue jays like the striped sunflower seeds, too. Maybe they got them here in the pet department. No, they do not. Oh, well. All right, I'm out of here. Something that the AT&T lady told me is that they just reuse numbers. So she said, somebody's gonna be getting your number. And I was like, oh, well, you know, that's, I guess, their problem. And then like, now I have this new number and it's very possible that she was like, you could be getting, you know, credit card companies calling you for someone else. You know, you could have somebody that's using, you know, pranking somebody else, and I was just like, I don't care. I don't care. I just want that taken off the table, you know? I don't need that. Nobody needs that. That's just fucking nonsense. It should be illegal. It should be, but it doesn't seem like they do anything about it. You just change your number. So AT&T makes $30 or whatever, and I had to call my friend Chen Yin and give her my new number, and her phone wasn't working, and she uses a landline. It's no shit. She has a flip phone. She won't buy a smartphone. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just unbelievable that you have to do stuff like this, like change your fucking number. How can that be legal? Why does Google allow that in their search engine? Prank phone calls? Oh yeah, it's hysterical. It's hysterical. It costs money, so is it kids doing it? No, it's probably mentally ill adults. Right? I mean, it's pretty screwed up. You shouldn't be able to do that with a phone number. Oh, this real cute Asian, I won't say girl, it's a woman, but she's walking up towards me, and I'm like, wow, she's hot, and then I notice on her neck, she's like covered in hickeys. Like just fucking covered. And it isn't a girl, it's a woman, you know? I don't know. Can you imagine? What if somebody was trying to do... She's with a dude. Clearly the dude was marking his territory. And this is a generalization. All the Asian women that I know, they're sort of reserved, you know? They would never go in public with hickeys on their neck. It's the truth. Like, all of them are real sort of prim and proper, you know? I don't know, you know, it's just an observation about the Asian women that I know. They're all sort of like prim and proper. And I don't think they would be mortified if that happened. They had hickeys on their neck, they wouldn't go out. They wouldn't. They'd be wrapped up with a turtle, you know, they'd be like, I don't know. You want your boyfriend to do that? Back in Walmart getting paint remover for the old tin ceiling I have. I'm not buying any of that garbage. I went for, where is it? That stuff. Why? Because it's toxic. It's weird. It's like the sword of Damocles has been lifted. It's fucking weird. I'm so glad to be done with that number. I can't explain it. I was watching somebody talk about this a couple months ago, like a similar situation. It was somebody that was really well known, though. But it's like that day that they had to come to the conclusion that, like, yeah, I'm in the public eye, and this sucks. I need to get rid of this phone. It was a bummer, but then once you do it, it's like, oh, my God. I should have done it 2 years ago, but, you know, it really wasn't expensive. It wasn't. It was nothing.